US elections, Iran-Israel war, or be it Kolkata's doctor's case, there are so many factors and so many uncertainties globally, worldwide, and also domestically, which are impacting our GDP growth rate. Yes, guys, you heard it right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Equipoiseclasses. Classes. I'm Surbhi Gupta, and in these videos, we pick up one of the topics from newspaper and read it directly from the paper to understand the gist of the article, the emotions of the author, and how to read newspaper basically and understand the topic directly from there, what to leave, what to pick, and everything in that manner. So yeah, I'll quickly share the screen to go ahead with today's topic, which is nothing but India's 2024-25 growth prospects have become harder to estimate. Why is that happening? Because of uncertainties, and there are so many uncertainties, be it globally, worldwide, or if we look domestically, there are a lot many things happening. So I'll just here I'll draw uh wait so imagine this is India. Okay, this is India. So now I'll draw factors which are external. This is the world. Okay, this is world. So the factors that are impacting India, uncertainties globally, and also then there are some things which are happening domestically. We'll discuss everything that's written in this article. And this article is by Indira Rajaraman. She's an economist and she has written this article. So short-term economic growth forecasting must factor in the impact of global enmities and climate uncertainties and civil unrest. So there are a lot many things which are happening, which we'll read in the newspaper. Okay, so the official GDP growth estimate uh, of 6.7% for the first quarter of 24-25 issued at the end of August was below expectations because, for the record, the latest projection of RBI in its 8th August monetary policy statement stood at 7.2%. Okay, so and first quarter was projected to be at 7.1% with a pickup in subsequent quarters. However, it warned that La Nina conditions during second half of the monsoon could bring excess rainfall, flooding, destruction of crops, and that is happening. So first factor is what the external factor that is impacting is La Nina condition, basically climate condition. Okay, this is impacting India's GDP. Then let's keep on reading the other ones and keep on noting it down. Okay, then every RBI growth projection has been rightly hedged by warnings about global uncertainties. Global uncertainties. The most prominent is warfare raging in two theaters. Another uncertainty stems from climate events, as I told you, in China, Vietnam, Central Europe, drought, fan fires in Southern Europe and California, disrupting supply chains and trade flow. So, disrupting supply chain and trade flow. क्लाइमेट चेंज की वजह से क्या क्या हो रहा है, फ्लड आ रहा है, लानिना कंडीशंस की वजह से, वो तो हो ही रहा है. ठीक है, देन देयर इज डिस्ट्रप्शन इन सप्लाई चेन and trade. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, the US presidential election in early November could well have decisive impact on the Ukraine war. Republican candidate Donald Trump's talk in this campaign, as in prior ones, about draining the swamp in Washington, has to do with his declared unwillingness to go along with prior funding commitments to military campaign overseas. Okay, and a US Congress approved this bipartisan military aid package for Ukraine is currently in place, called a loan. It carries full debt cancellation provision, and that can be invoked after 1st January 25, effectively turning it into an outright grant. And a large portion of it will be spent on US produced military hardware, basically an indirect add on to the US defense budget. Okay, so that is happening. Then Trump, if elected, unlikely but still possible. So they are already saying that it seems unlikely that Trump will be re-elected. Could take board the reality that unless Russia gets a guaranteed land passage to Crimean port, okay, So it's a large landmass served by just one port that is functional all throughout the year. The war would continue endlessly, and his push for a negotiated end to war would not be popular. So there has already been a shocking assassination attempt on Trump by a Ukraine supporter. The war in West Asia is even less amenable to closure, since both presidential candidates in US are irreversibly committed to Israel state. So they are committed to Israel. And on climate change, Trump, in his first presidency, pulled the US out of Paris Accord. If elected again, world cooperation on climate action will suffer a serious setback because he can pull up from anything. And just when support for it is growing, if Kamala Harris is elected, getting likelier day by day, global climate action would get a powerful and long-time supporter, although she has had to reverse her stance on fracking to appeal the electorate in Pennsylvania, a key battleground state. India has no levers of control over these global uncertainties. So, another global uncertainty is US presidential election and take on climate. Another one is West Asia war, Iran, Israel. Okay, and already what has impacted is Ukraine, Russia. Okay, then let's read it further. But there is civil unrest of purely domestic origin that has to be urgently attended. So what she's saying, what the author is saying is that we have no control over global uncertainties, but we definitely and certainly should have the control on domestic civil unrest, which we need to attend and cater to. Okay, but the Manipur situation continues to fester. Street protests in Kolkata over the failure to provide safety to medical staff on night duty in a public hospital carried national resonance and boiled over into cities across the country. So even if we see internally in India, domestically, there are things which are happening and which are actually not good. And if we see likely, we can say Manipur stands, then Kolkata case. Okay, all these things domestically need to be controlled. Okay, then public safety has to be taken on by Ministry of Urban Affairs, and there is a need for apps like these see the developed countries made apps during COVID times, and there's a need to adapt those kind of apps and successful models for India as well. Okay, so uncertainty about availability of skilled workers continues to hamper private sector willingness to invest. A Haryana state portal, Haryana Kaushal Rozgar Nigam, advertisement for cleaning staff, Safai Karamchari, attracted thousands of applicants, some of them reportedly to be graduates. Safai Karamchari बनने के लिए graduates ने भी भेजी, with skills like nursery teacher training in pharmacy. A possible reason for serious mismatch. This is a serious mismatch between the demand and supply of the skills. So the demand is of Safai Karamchari and the supply is even of the graduates. Okay, and the graduates who are more qualified for the job. So there's this huge, serious demand supply skill mismatch, and that could be because of applicants confine their job search within short radius from home, where the issue of safety could be restricting factor, language another. So we still do not have integrated Indian job market. The quality of public infrastructure is another thing. So these are the domestic issues. What other domestic issue is we saying? Skill, demand, supply mismatch, private sector not willing to invest, and these are the other factors. These are the factors that we are seeing in India. Okay, within India, that and public infrastructure, the condition of public infrastructure is really bad. At the Semiconductor and Electronics India Expo in Greater Noida in mid-September, heavy rain on the day of the event poured right through the roof of exhibition halls, and drenched visitors look for exits rather than exhibits. A leaking roof is merely inconvenient. A collapsing roof in June at Delhi airport is a life and death matter. So you can see the condition of public infrastructure. These are the internal things that I'm saying. Public infrastructure is in terrible condition. Then private investment is not coming in. There's supply, skill demand supply mismatch. So lot many things are happening. In the GDP data, the construction sector showed the highest sectoral real growth, and largely driven by government. So whatever number 6.2% we have seen, that is also due to government capex, capital expenditure, and that too in real sector growth, what we have observed majorly. Okay, so yeah, I think with that we have finished this article. We have stated out the reasons that why GDP growth that we have seen is happening. That too also, if this much is growth. Okay, so let's come back to our factors, what we have discussed, and whatever growth rate we have seen. So if, hold on, just give me a minute. Yeah. If India has seen 6.2%, even though it's less than projected one, projected by RBI was 7.2%, but India has seen less than that. And if India has seen less, then also the major contributor is government's capital expenditure and real sector growth rate. So real estate sector growth rate. So that is what is happening in India. And there are many global uncertainties that we could discuss. And the global uncertainties that we discuss is okay. So the global factors are actually, global uncertainties are impacting India's GDP, but those are the factors that we can discuss, but we cannot control. We don't have any control over it, okay? But there are domestic factors that we discuss and we do have a control over it, but still we are not doing anything in that sector. So as we said that, the civil unrest which is happening within India, if be it Manipur or Kolkata, we are not able to solve it. We are not able to solve the public. And so safety is a concern. Okay, for workers, safety is a concern, and we cannot solve the problem of the safety. Then public infrastructure is in terrible condition. So Delhi airport roof gets, roof fall off, and then the roof leaks when it's about the expo, it comes to expo. So that's again a terrible condition. Private sectors are not willing to invest a lot. Okay, then there is the skills that we need for a job. We don't, our population is huge, but the skill is not there, and some people who are overqualified do not have the jobs that they need. So if one side there's less supply, huge demand, okay, and then in some sectors where there's demand, but even the people who are graduates, so see, graduates are applying for safai karamchari's job. So terrible condition, as you can see. Okay, so there are so many things which are happening within India which needs a lot of control over these factors so that we can grow further and our GDP is not impacted negatively by all these factors within our control. So domestic factors are within our control, global factors are not, and global uncertainties are not, but at least we can control what is within our reach. Okay, so with that I would want to wrap up this session, and I really hope you found it useful in one or the other manner. And if yes, do share your feedback because it matters to me the most, and like, share and subscribe to Thoda Zyada Focus because it hardly takes 10 seconds of yours but means a lot to me. And thank you so much for showing so much of love to Equipoise classes. I'm truly grateful to each and every one of you for bringing me here where I am today. And if you need anything else from me, do not forget to communicate, because I think communication is the only way to express that what you need, what you want, and only then I'll get to know that if I am able to achieve your expectations or there's something more that I can do. I would definitely would want to be there. Okay, so yeah, with that, I'll see you with another one, and take care, guys. Keep smiling, stay happy, stay healthy.